Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the most adorable granny square you have seen in your entire life, the strawberry granny square. Before we get started though, make sure to like and subscribe and check out my Etsy. I've got a couple new things on there, but let's go ahead and jump into some materials. So indeed, for those materials, I'm first going to start out with a little disclaimer for you. I'm sure many of you have seen my heart granny square video that I did in the past, and for this material we're actually going to be building off of that pattern and just adding those little embellishments. I'm going to show you how to crochet the little leafy bits and then put on the seeds, but you are going to need to watch that video and get your base of a heart granny square first. So as for the colors, I just used the pink for the heart and then this outer little rim, and then I've got a kind of cream white color. And other than that, you're going to need a little bit of green for our little leaves, and I just chose to use this cream color again for the seeds. I kind of liked how they looked and how they matched the background. Other than that though, we're gonna have a yarn needle, some fabric scissors, and the crochet hook that I'm using is a 4mm for this project. So once you have done that heart square, in fact, that is pretty much the hardest part out of the way. The crocheting of the leaf is fairly easy. You're just going to take your green yarn and your hook, and this yarn is looking a little gray on camera right now, but I promise it's a lovely sage green, and I will show you how to make those leaves real quick. Alrighty, so getting started with crocheting, we are actually going to start off with a magic circle and 5 single crochets in that magic circle. So we're going to make a little loop here like this, and you're going to want this top part of the loop to go underneath this other string, if that makes sense. Little loop. You're going to put your hook through. I like to grab on to this center here. We're going to put our hook through this loop and pull this yarn through our loop. Alrighty, and then we're going to chain 1. So essentially the same thing. Chain 1, and you should have a circle that we can work into. And I'm going to kind of hold it down so it doesn't all fall apart on me. But now is the part where we're going to crochet 5 single crochet. So starting off, going right in here, and we're going to do single crochet. That's 1. Here is 2, and 3, 4, whoops, and lastly, our 5th single crochet. So you should have something looking like this, but we're going to grab this yarn right here and actually cinch our circle closed. So we have a tiny little first round of a circle. So for the second round, we're going to start off with a slip stitch in the first stitch actually. So looking across to right here, if you can see that, let me zoom in. So here's our circle looking to right here. We're going to put our hook in. It's a little bit hard to do on the first round, but you should have your stitch, just the very next stitch. We're going to slip stitch, and I'm just kind of holding this spare yarn in the back here out of the way for now, but it's not too important. So next we are actually going to chain 3 stitches up. So 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, and we're going to turn this into one of the little leaves on top of the strawberry. So looking into the back, this is the front of the chain. Looking into the back of the chain though, we have these little bumps on it, and we're going to actually crochet into those and do 2 single crochets on the way back. So if you look carefully, we turn this around. We're going to skip the first one and go into this second little bump right here and single crochet. There's one, and now we're gonna look back and we find this next little bump is the back of our first chain. This next little bump, we're gonna do one more single crochet. All right, and now paying attention to where we kind of chained out of, which was this stitch right here, this entire thing, we're gonna look to the next stitch and slip stitch. I know this part is a little bit confusing, but I'll try to take it slow, and feel free to keep watching this a couple times. All right, but we have a little leafy bit, and the idea is that we're just going to repeat this 2 more times so that we can get 3 little leaves, and we'll just have the circle as our base here. So let's go ahead and do the second one. Now that we've done our slip stitch here, we're going to go straight into 3 chains up again. 1, 2, and 3. And again, working into the back of this chain, we're going to find those little bumps. Right here is the first one we're going to do, skipping this top one, going into the second bump on the back. We're going to put our hook in right here and do a single crochet. And looking to the next one, the back bump of the first stitch again, or the first chain, we're going to single crochet once more. And we have a little second leaf coming along. So next we're just going to skip to the next stitch in the circle and slip stitch again to kind of secure this down. So we came out of this one right here, so we're going to look and go into this next one. And slip stitch. Just like that. Alright, and we're going to do our third and final leaf here. Chain 3, 3, and then looking to the back of that chain, find the second chain, back of the second chain, and single crochet first into that one, and then one more single crochet into the next. Alright, we've got our third little leaf. We just need to slip stitch it down and we'll be done actually with the entire leafy bits. So this is where we came out of, if you can see right here. So we're just going to move to the next stitch and slip stitch. Alrighty, you can actually take out your hook because now we're just going to fasten it off, and that is actually all you need to do. So go ahead and cut a little bit of a tail just so that we can sew it on to the granny square. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take this little loop that we just need to finish off, and we're going to do so by pulling the end of the yarn through to make a little knot and securing it off. And there we are. You can go ahead and leave this end for sewing. This one, if you want to go ahead and cut it off or weave it in, go ahead. But we aren't going to need this, just this longer tail for sewing. Alright, so taking our heart granny square, we are going to look at it for placing our leaves here. And if you notice on this one, I just placed the circle bit downwards and then had the little 3 leaves up towards the top. And I actually, when I sewed this one on, just went around the circle and let these 3 be loose, just because I thought that was kind of cute. So that's exactly what we're going to do for this one here. So you're going to go ahead and take your yarn needle now and thread that needle. And now we're just going to kind of place this how we like it. Somewhere around here looks good to me. And then you're just going to hold it down as best as you can with this hand, or the other if you're left-handed. And we're going to just start grabbing one little stitch or one little yarn from the bottom or from the heart, and then weave up to the top of the green. So it's grabbing like one from here, just a little bit of yarn, and we're gonna work our way around, grabbing one yarn from the pink, one from the green. Doesn't have to be very precise in the whole one-to-one thing. Just making sure to secure it on multiple sides is always good. And since I don't really care what the back looks like for this part here, I'm just gonna stick all the way through the entire thing and pull out the back. Since I can't really see where I'm going on this top part of the circle. And then we'll just kind of move down a little bit, experiment, poke through, find somewhere good. Gonna rotate the square as I go, just sticking it all the way through and coming right back. Finishing things off here, I'll make this my last little stitch, and as you can see, it's pretty secure on all sides. It's not going anywhere. So to end this off, I'm just gonna grab one yarn from the green. So I'll go like right here, and I'm gonna pull my needle only part of the way through, just like this, so that I can go ahead and make a knot. And I'm gonna do that by placing my needle through that existing loop and just pulling it tight. Knotting it off is good because otherwise it could slowly unravel with time, so we want to make sure to do that whenever we're sewing things on. And lastly, we're just going to weave in this end by kind of hiding it down here. And maybe I'll go one more time like here. Just hiding it kind of between those two layers of the heart, square, and the leaves. And we'll just cut off this end here. Alright, so for this last little touch, you're just going to need some of that white yarn, or whatever color you choose, for the seeds, and a yarn needle. So we're going to go ahead and cut maybe like a couple feet of yarn just to be safe. I would say I've got about 2 feet here of yarn. So we're going to just go ahead and thread our needle. Now I'm just going to use this one that I already did as a guide for where I want to put the seeds, but I just like how this one turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the left side myself. It's not an exact science. Again, we're just going to kind of work through and place them where they look best. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just pushing my needle through the back, from the back. And we're not going to pull the yarn all the way through because we want to be able to secure that end off here. So just leave about that much is enough if you'd like a little bit more to be safe. And we're going to embroider the first seed. So I'm just going to go upward and kind of diagonally, if you can see here. And we've got a tiny little seed. So flipping to the back, and we're just going to do this once for the first stitch, but we're going to make a knot with these 2 yarns. And I'm going to go ahead and double knot it just to be safe. And we'll come back and weave that end in later, this one here. But we just want to make sure that we aren't going to have anything slipping while we're sewing. So next I'm going to move down maybe to about here and pulling it through and just placing the needle maybe around here. We've got our next seed. And I'm not too concerned, again, with what it looks like in the back. If you are, then maybe you can be a little bit sneakier with your yarns, but this is just going to be the inside of a project for me, so I don't really care about what the back looks like. So next I'm going to go move a little bit more to the right, about here, and do another seed. There we go. Gonna move down and do one, maybe right about here. Gonna do one in the middle, on the bottom here. And then I'm gonna kind of just make it symmetrical, do one seed on the right half for everywhere that I did one on the left, just because that's easiest and most appealing to my eyes anyway. And doing our last little seed. There we are. We are having what looks like a cute little strawberry so far. So we're just going to finish this off and weave in our ends, and we will actually be good to go. So in order to do that, I'm going to just grab one of these pink yarns near where I came out for the end here. Grab one of these and make a knot again by just pulling it through part of the way and looping my needle through, pulling tight. You can do a second one if you like. I think this should be good though. And then I'm just going to kind of weave this into the pink carefully so that it doesn't show on the front side, but that way I can kind of hide the tail and just secure it off a little bit. Honestly, that is good enough. And I'll do the same for this first one quick. Just weaving it in. She's not very pretty on the back, but it's okay. On the front, she's gorgeous. Aren't these the cutest little squares you have ever seen in your entire life? I am in love with how the pattern turned out and the colors. I just think they're adorable, and I think they would make for a great little top, like a summer top, or maybe even a tote bag, or any cute project you can imagine. I think these will be wonderful for that. But with that being said, that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and were able to follow along. I didn't go too quickly for you. But make sure to like and subscribe, and tell me what projects you'd like to see next in the comments below. I will see you all very soon with another video. Bye!